Good evening, afternoon, grade 3. Today is part of your cafe rotation for your accuracy strategy of stretching and blending sounds. I'm going to do a little masterclass on some parts that perhaps we may have forgotten throughout the year. We're going to be looking at sounds in words versus syllables in words. And I'm going to set you a few little challenges to see how much you remember, how you're applying the rules that we've spoken about, and also maybe even highlight what you could potentially do in the future if you're getting stuck with your spelling. Okay? Stretching and blending. It's this whole idea of thinking about each portion of the word or each part, each section, and how we can break words down in order to spell them or say them more correctly. So this is going to take up the full rotation, this particular rotation, and you're going to need a couple of things. So you've already got your iPad and your headphones, which is awesome. You're going to need your cafe book. Make sure it's on the cafe side. You're also going to need a dictionary. So if you can make sure that you've got all of those things, pencil and rubber as well. If you've got all of those things, then you're ready to move on. If you haven't, pause here and go and get those things. Okay, now that you've got all of those things, we can get started. Okay, now the first thing is, by me doing a YouTube video like this, what's so great is that if you need to pause and listen to something again, or if you need to pause so you've got some work time, you absolutely can do that. Okay, there's no right or wrong with this. This is just practice, practicing things that either you've been doing in this rotation already, or it's getting you prepared for the rotation that's just about to happen. Now, some of you may be familiar with my elastic band, okay? And I use this to help describe stretching and blending because, funnily enough, we're going to be stretching the rubber band. So let's say we have a word like, let's use something like bedroom, okay? If we can think about the word bedroom in a number of different ways. Firstly, we can think about syllables. Bedroom. Okay, 2 syllables. Okay, we've got a vowel in each of our syllables and we've broken up any double letters. Okay, except for in room because it's a little bit of an exception to the rule. Okay, so for spelling bedroom, we could look at bed, spell that syllable, and then spell room. Or we could look at the sounds, and that's where my elastic band comes in. Because if we stretch all of the sounds and then put them back together, all of a sudden we can come up with the word. Okay, so for example, let's stretch it out. B, e, d, r, u, m. And if we put it all together, bedroom. So the whole idea behind this reading strategy is for you to understand that if you come across a word that you don't know and that you need to sound out, okay, you can either break it into syllables or into sounds, okay? And that's what we're going to be exploring in this masterclass. I don't have a proper book with me, so what I've done is I've drawn this up, okay? So you've got your margin, you've got your top, and I'd like you to do the following to your page, okay? At the top of your page, above the top line, I'd like you to write sound. Oh, this pen's not good. Sound and syllable master class. Okay, like that. Sound and syllable masterclass. Okay, now in here there are going to be a stack of different things that I want you to do, and after each section I want you to get a ruler, okay, and do a big red line to show me that you're moving on to the next activity. Okay, get your book set up and then we're going to get into it. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to work through a whole bunch of words that you can pick. Okay, and you are going to be looking at how many syllables are in a word versus how many sounds are in a word. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my trusty example of bedroom. Okay, and at the top one here, I'm going to do the number of syllables. And the way that I'm going to do that is I'm going to draw lines like what we've done before, and then in brackets at the end say how many syllables. And then for the one down the bottom, I'm just going to write the number of sounds in the word. So if we look at this first word here, okay, bedroom up here. Oh, it's a bit backwards, a bit hard. When we're talking about syllables, we've done this for so many weeks now, everybody. So syllables are parts of the word, okay? And it's when our talking mechanisms change to say bed, room. Okay, so my lips change. That's the talking mechanism. And we often use a clap to try and figure out how many syllables. So, bedroom. Okay, so straight away I know that there are going to be two, so I'm going to write 2 syllables. Okay, just like that. And then I want you, either in a red pencil or blue, I don't really mind, I'd like you to show me where you think the syllable starts and ends. So I know that it's going to be here. Okay? But is the number of syllables the same number of sounds? This is the trap that a lot of people fall into. So we're actually going to be practicing this a lot today. Okay? 2 syllables, but how many sounds? Be, e, d, r, u, There's actually 6. Okay? So I'm going to do it like this. So to show how many sounds, we're going to use an equal sign. Okay? But for how many syllables, we're going to use, we're going to show it in brackets and with a division of the syllables. Okay? So for your first task, I'm going to give you 6 words. Okay? And what I would like you to do in your book is write number 1. Number 1 to 6. But you have to do it on every second line because you're going to write the word out twice. So let me show you what I mean by that. Yeah. So like this. You've got to picture that this is lined paper as well. So I'd like everybody to do bedroom as an example, okay? So you've got number 1 over here, bedroom. We're going to do our syllable breakdown, okay? And then we're going to do our sound breakdown like that. Okay, then we're going to do 1, 4, 2, 3. You'll be able to fit it on all on one page. 1, 2, 3, all the way down to 6. So every second line. I'm going to give you those words now. Okay, guys, I'm going to write it down on a separate piece of paper. So bedroom's your first. I'm going to give you 5 more. Okay, now I need to figure out what they're going to be. Okay, here are your words. So number 2 is going to be cat, 3, pineapple, 4, park, number 5 is celebrate, and number 6 is giraffe. So remember, you need to write them out twice because for the top one, you're going to be doing the number of syllables and where you break up the syllables, and for the second one, the number of sounds. So you can maybe scroll back to where I've shown you this, or you can pause it on this screen right here so you can see it. Okay, I'd like you to write these in your book and have a go at doing the sound and the syllables, syllable, then sounds in these words. Have a really good think about it, okay? This is your first activity. Off you go. Alrighty guys, so let's see how you went, okay? I'm going to work through the answers of these ones because I just want you to see whether you're getting them mostly right or all right, or if we're missing a few, okay? And if we're missing a few, I want you to go back. This is where it's going to take a little bit of your responsibility and your teachers, including me, if I am still your teacher, are trusting that you're going to go back and check these, okay? Now, if you don't finish this video today, that's fine. Maybe we'll come back to it another time. It's just really important that you understand what you're doing, okay? There's no point in just going through all of the activities, okay? This is going to help you if you're somebody who's perhaps struggling a little bit with their spelling. But it's not all just to do with spelling. It's also to do with your reading as well, okay? So let's have a look. What did I say we were going to do first? We'll do syllables first. Okay, so for cat. So hopefully there was no line in your word and you just had a brackets next to it saying 1, like this. 1. Then for sounds, k, a, t. So that should equal 3. Okay. Pineapple's a bit of a trickier one. Okay, so syllables. Pine, a, pull. Okay. Pineapple, apple. Okay, so we've got pineapple, 3. Okay, and then here's where we need to think about our syllable rules. Okay, pine. Typically syllables end with a vowel. So we know that our first line is going to be here between the E and the A. And then what's our rule with double letters? Hopefully we remember that. We should be breaking it up like that. Okay, so pineapple. All right, but as for the sounds, really tricky. P, I, a, p, Oh, Oh, no, I meant to do an equal sign. Whoops. Cross that out. 6. Okay, it's a bit of a tricky one, this one. P, I, N. The E is silent here because that's our bossy E, making this I here the long I sound. So it's P, I, N, A, P, ul. Okay? P, I, N, A, P, ul. 6. Park. Hopefully we all got 1 for that one. P, A, K. 3. Okay. This, hang on, where am I? Here. This is a digraph. Oh, hang on, you can't even see me. This is what we call a digraph here, when 2 letters are put together, A and R, are put together and they make 1 sound, okay? So in this word here, it's 1 syllable, but we've got 3 sounds. P, R, K. Okay, and I haven't managed to finish both of them on the one page, but we'll do celebrate next. So, celebrate. 3 syllables. And where do we break up our 3 syllables? Okay? We need to make sure we've got a vowel in each of them. Okay? And we need to think about where the lines may be. Okay? So, ce-le-brate. Okay? Celebrate. Okay? Because typically what happens is our syllables most of the time end in a vowel. Okay? Celebrate. Now let's try and figure out how many sounds are actually in there. Okay? So we've got 3 syllables, but sounds. S, e, l, e, b, r, a, t. I think I got 8. Hopefully you guys did it too. S, e, l, e, b, r, a, t. And again, we've got that bossy E there. So, you know, this A and E here is making 1 sound. Okay? Now, I couldn't fit it all on one page, so let me flip over the page. And the final word that we had was, what was it? Giraffe. Is that a hard or a soft G? Make a little note in your book if you'd like to tell me. So what giraffe, let me just write it out nice and quickly. It's a bit of a tough one, this one. Giraffe. 2 syllables. Okay. Giraffe. So we're splitting between our I and our R. We're not splitting these 2 Fs because they're part of the same syllable. We only split them if they're at the start or the beginning of a different syllable, okay? So that's a bit of a tricky one. I put that one in there to trick you. Let's do the sounds. J, I, G, J, I, R, A. 5. Okay? Now, as I said at the beginning, guys, if you haven't got this quite right, go back and try and figure out where you might have gone wrong, okay? And either change the answer but with a different colour, okay? I don't mind. Your teachers will not mind if you've gotten it wrong. We just kind of want to see where your head's at, okay? Now, the next challenge. We're going to pretend that I've done all of what we've just done there up to 6, and you'll have more space than this on your page. It's just because I'm not on a lined piece of paper. I want you to get your ruler, red pencil, draw a line across because we're going on to the next activity. Okay, pretty straightforward, this next one. I want you to write 1 to 10 down your page, either finishing off that page or on your new one. Every second line again, okay? So write number 1, skip a line, 2, skip a line. Okay, this is where your dictionary is going to come in. I want you to pick 10 words and do exactly the same activity. Okay? Practice. That's all it is. Okay? Don't pick, pick the words that are going to make you think. Okay? Don't just pick the easiest. If you know that you're a good speller, pick really hard words and work backwards from there. Okay? I don't mind the odd silly one. I know heaps of you are going to try and do anti-disestablishmentarianism. Okay? If you're going to do it, then do it and do it properly. Okay? I want to know all the sounds. I want to know everything like that. But if you're wasting time doing it, then it's not a good use of your time. So move on, pick something else. Okay? Show me what you can do. Show your teachers what you know and what you don't know. Okay? This shouldn't take long. You should get a book out, quickly write them, and figure out your syllables and your sounds. Okay? If you can do that, please, that would be great. And then I'm going to set you a few more challenges. Okay, 3 pretty challenging. Well, I'm sorry, I should actually start by saying I'm really excited to see what words you've come up with and see how we've practiced and used our kind of knowledge. You know, it's not always easy. You know, a letter that I always fall over is X. You know, X has a lot of sounds in it, just the letter. So, for example, let's say we're doing something like stuffed up, try again. So let's say we're doing something like the word exit. Okay, so E-X-I-T. Okay, exit. Exit. Okay, so we've got 2 syllables. Okay, I'm going to do this in one example here. So we've got, can you see? Ooh, which way do I need to go? There. Exit. But then how many sounds are in there? If you don't want to find out, pause here and see if you can guess. Okay, and I'm telling you, it might not be what you think. So pause if you want the challenge of trying to figure it out yourself. If you don't, I'm going to tell you. It. So for a word that's only got 4 letters, it actually has 5 sounds. Okay? Because it's it. Oh, sorry, it. Yeah? 5. So you've always, you know, you're not always going to get it right. But even just breaking it down like that, it means that when you're reading, you're going to be able to decipher, which basically means figure out, harder words. Right, now, on to the challenge. 3 challenges. The first one is I'm gonna tell you how many sounds and syllables in certain words, and I want you to then try and find a word that's like that. Okay? I would like you to find a 2-syllable word that has 4 sounds in it. Okay? So I'll write that down for you. 2-syllable. So make sure you've drawn a red line underneath your 10 words. This is the next challenge, okay? So we've done a red line. Okay? I want you to find a 2-syllable word that has 4 sounds. Okay? I then want you to try and find a 3-syllable word. 3-syllable with 6 sounds. Okay? And then if you really want to be fancy pants, let's go with 4-syllable. 4-syllable and 8 sounds. Okay, so I've just written them down here. So if you need to pause, 1, 2, 3, that's going to be pretty tough. Okay, see what you can come up with. Okay, you're pretty much at the end of the video now. Enough of me talking. If you do find yourself with a little bit of spare time, there's an awesome website that I'd like you to go to and have a little bit of a play around with. Okay, it's called Soundwaves. We've done a little bit of this, but not much. So here's what you need to do. You need to go to Google and search up Soundwaves. Okay, click on the website. You then need to find the section for the student login. Okay, and what will happen is there'll just be a tiny bar on the student login page asking for a password. And the password is this, away491. Once you've logged in there, a whole stack of units are going to turn up. They're like little circles and it will say unit 1 to about 30 or something. Pick any one, I don't mind. I just want you to have a play around. There's a couple of games on there. There's an unjumbler game. There's like a grapheme meteor kind of thing. If you want a real challenge, there's a thing called the segmenting tool and you have to try and figure out, it's exactly what we've just done. You need to figure out how many sounds, but you also need to break the sounds up like what we would do with a syllable, you know, with the line, which is really tough on some of those. So for the rest of this time, head on to Soundwaves and have a go. Congratulations. You've done a good job. And if there's anything that you really feel like you need to go over or that you're not too sure, please go and ask your teacher because they'll be able to help you out. I hope you had a good cafe session and I will see you soon. Bye. Oh, so sad. Only 1 salt and vinegar chip left. Oh, look.